Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel where I am documenting my journey to complete debt freedom and financial independence. And you can see that I have on my screen today my Excel worksheet. That means that I am going to be working on my budget. And today I'm going to be working on my budget actually for the first fortnight of September. So I'm trying out something a little bit different. And this is one of the challenges that I have had with doing a combination of budget by paycheck, but also trying to figure out what the monthly budget is going to be, what it is going to look like, is that because I get paid fortnightly, my husband is paid weekly. When we have months like September that have 5 weeks in them, it makes it really difficult to factor in what the month is going to look like, because at the end of the month, half of the money for 1 week actually has to roll over to the next week. The next week is another month. It's a bit of a headache, and I haven't found a way that I really like tracking it. So, well, I haven't found a way that I really like tracking anything, but that's a whole different story. So I'm going to go ahead and, for at least for September and maybe October, go back to budgeting by fortnight. And we'll see how that works out for us, because it does. I can work off of what both mine and what my husband's take home pays are going to be. So we'll go ahead and we will jump up and ignore all of this because I was just too lazy to hide the formulas. So I'm going to budget off of $3,000 for myself and $2,000 of my husband's pay. So we budget off of less than we actually take home. And that is done for a range of reasons, because we can. It's our budget. $410 coming from a sinking fund. So for the first fortnight, if you're new to my channel, I do live in Australia. We use the term fortnight. It just means bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks that we get paid consistently. So my husband and I both get paid I get paid every other Wednesday. He gets paid every Wednesday, though I think they're switching like in October. Anyways, we use the term fortnight, and I've had to explain that a couple times to people. It has absolutely nothing to do with the game, just an archaic term that we use. So we're going to have $5,410 that we're going to be budgeting for the first 2 weeks. And we're going to go ahead and split that out across our fixed bills, our variable expenses, sinking funds, saving, and then also extra to debt. So I do follow the Budget Mom workbook sheets. I've just turned it into an Excel worksheet. It just, again, is something that works a little bit better for me. So starting with $5,410, let's go ahead and jump to our fixed bills, because those have to be paid before, really anything else does. So we're going to start off with the mortgage. We pay our mortgage every week. We do pay extra on our mortgage as well. So over the next 2 weeks, we are going to pay $800. $290 is going to go to our private health insurance cover that we have. And so that is for a top level package for both my husband and myself. Home insurance usually comes out within the first half of the month. So that is going to be $240. Vehicle insurance does not come out until the second half of the month, or vice versa, because they're with the same company and I get confused sometimes. $40 coming out for my pool membership, my mobile phone, usually the second half, internet and cable. Because we recently switched our internet provider, they actually bill every other month. So we should not have an internet bill this month. Putting in $100 for electricity, but we are coming out of winter, and that means that our usage is going to go down. Again, if you're new, we have solar. As we move into summer, so in spring, our electricity rates really drop, and by the time we get around to summer, we usually have less than $10 if we have a bill at all. And then we also have our rates that are due. Those are due quarterly, so every 3 months. Those are at $410 each for the year. That's essentially like our property taxes that we have. That is going to give us a total in fixed bills for the 2 weeks of $1,880. And it is going to leave us $3,530 to split across all of the rest of our categories. And the next category that I personally move to, and I know everybody goes in a different order, this is just my particular preference, is that I like to start with our variable expenses next. So these are the things that food and everything. Well, I mean, you can see the titles. I don't budget and track as closely for each one. I have a general idea for each amount, but I actually just put all of the money into one big envelope and we go from there. About $300 for groceries, so about $150 per week. $50 for household supplies. Yes, I do keep my household supplies separate from my grocery supplies. That is just a personal preference. About $50 for spend, aka coffee fund, because that is just strictly for me. We budget $150 for petrol, so for fuel. Yes, we spend a lot in fuel. $150 for transport, so this is for tolls, for our for go-karts, so if taking the train, the bus, or the city cat or anything like that anywhere. Also paying for parking because I do have my appointments with my transplant team. The hospital that I go to for that does have paid parking, and that adds up real quick, so I just include that in there. $150 for my 2 big boofhead dogs that eat a lot of food, and $50 going into bulk groceries. Nothing going into the MISC, the miscellaneous fund, because we've just kind of had everything pooled together. $100 for eating out, and then dropping down health and personal care to $50. I just don't need the full amount, really is what it comes down to. And then for my husband, gas, he gets $100 every fortnight. That is his money. I give it to him. It goes into his wallet. We don't track it. I don't ask. He doesn't tell. We're adults. I really don't care either way. So that is $1,150. That is going to our variable expenses. And I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. And some people have been like, oh, wow, your husband gets more money than you do. Kind of, sort of, but really the health and personal care is all for me, and the spending is for me, and such like that. So it comes out easy. I guess kind of even, but at the same time, that's not really something that we are overly fussed about. We don't do an equal division of our money and go, well, you get only this percentage and I get this percentage type of thing. It's for us just not something that we do, because we just don't care. And if he needed more money out of somewhere else, I'd take that out and I would give that to him as well. So we're at an equilibrium where that works for us. Let me know about you. How do you go about? I know there's different people that do their budgeting where they haven't combined their finances. There are ones where people have combined. Some people do percentages. They base it off of who brings what into the pooled finances. And such. Just curious if you want to share how it is that you go about that. You can go ahead and drop that down in the comments below. And also how you're doing. I always forget to ask that at the beginning of videos of how you going. School's starting up for you guys there in the US. So adjusting to, for those of you that are parents, adjusting to the children not being home and back to the hectic work and school balancing schedules. And for teachers, balancing having everybody else's children all over again. I know we have quite a few teachers that are on here. I digress. After taking care of our variable envelopes, we have $2,380 left over. And this is everything that is going to go into our basically savings, really. So just under 50% is going into our different savings accounts. And where I'm going to start then with the savings is with our sinking funds. So $2,380 going to our sinking funds. Have $250 is going to the emergency fund because we've got a goal of getting that to $5,000 by the end of the year. Hospital, these are taken care of elsewhere. New wifey, if you are new wifey is for my husband's new bike. His previous bike was called the Mistress. We don't know what the new wife is going to be called, but I'm sure it will be something amusing yet probably inappropriate because that is what I do. Maintenance for home and cars is getting, they're getting $100 regos. So our car registrations, $155 going there. $130 going to our utilities. All of these are over in another one. $65 going to subscriptions. The reason why I only fill in some of these is because these are set amounts that absolutely have to go into there. The rest comes out of when I do my cash sinking funds. There's going to be an additional $285 that will be available for that. That gets split up across those others. So $985 going into various sinking funds. That is going to leave $1,395 to go towards our remaining areas. And so where I'm going to go to next is over here to our extra savings. This is essentially where my savings challenges are. I might actually change what I have as the title there. So $1,395. I have started doing saving challenges a little bit here for the end of August and then ramping that up a little bit in September. So for the first fortnight, for the first 2 weeks in September, I'm going to have about $125 going into my 26-week challenge. And if you're curious to see about any of my savings challenges, you will be able to watch those videos. Right now, I think I'm going to be doing them on Saturdays. So just, savings challenge Saturdays. I don't know. That sounds good. Friday, I couldn't figure anything out, and I'm a bit busy on Fridays anyways. So Saturdays is just an easier day for filming. $50 is going to be going into my Cyber Monday challenge. $95 into my Boxing Day, so day after Christmas sales for that. And then because we are going into spring, I have a $100 Hello Spring challenge. I am also doing the Pirate Beauté challenge, and this is Marlene over at Snow Gardener 307. Yes, I'm mentioning her name again. If you did a shot every time I mention her name in a video, you would be pretty much drinking every video. But I'm not putting in an amount for the Pirate Booty because I'm actually going to be saving for the Pirate Booty out of my variable spending. So it's going to be something rather specific for me, and I will explain that in my video on Saturday. So if you are curious, you're just going to have to come back and watch and see what it is I'm going to do. Over the 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks in September, my goal is to save $370 through those challenges. And that is then going to leave me $1,025 for my absolute favorite thing that I am now doing because I no longer have any debt. Woohoo! Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And that is, it is going to go to my investing. So let's jump over to that last area. And I hadn't changed that yet, so you will go ahead and go investing. Oh, doesn't that just look so much better than debt? Extra invest total. So couple different platforms that I use, one being Perler, and so I have a automatic $175 per week that is sent over there, so that is going to be $350, and that is going to leave $675 going into our Westpac share trade account. I do also use another site called Sharesies, and in September I'm going to start something new because there's a few other micro investing platforms, and I just want to try them out and see how they do. And that is Raise, and then that is Spaceship. And as much as I hate the fees that are associated with Raise because I think that they're absolutely stupid, but I want to look at the performance of each one. And so what I am going to do starting in September, and this will be on my upcoming Transfer Tuesday video as well, which, yes, I skipped this week again, but I have a really good reason for it, and that's because I was with my medical team and was getting some really good news and checkups and such like that. But where I'm going to start putting $20, just $20 per month into those, or $10 a fortnight, into each of those two accounts and comparing the performance of each one. I'm just really curious to know, particularly with their fee structures. And because my son's interested in it and some of his friends are interested in it, I have more expendable income than they do, to where I can kind of, do some of that testing out. And so he asked if I would be a guinea pig, and I said, sure, why not? So keep an eye out for that, particularly if you are here in Australia and that's something that you have been looking into. But so yeah, quite a few fun things on the horizon coming this month. So I suppose I should put that in now as well. So Raise and Spaceship. That's going to be $20. That actually puts me then $20 over budgeted income. So I will find an additional $20 somewhere. Most likely take it out of one of my variable spends. And then as I get through some of those savings challenges, I will have some extra there. Minus that little add-in right there at the end. Essentially, basically have a zero-based budget. I have said many, many times, and I will say it many, many times more. I run a zero-based budget on paper or spreadsheet only. I absolutely never run a zero-based bank account. I always have a cushion in there of some sort, and that stays there. It gets replenished, it gets used, it gets replenished again. There's always something there. I'm pretty good and pretty disciplined about sticking to budget, but I am not so confident about sticking to budget that I'm going to run my bank account all the way to zero and trust that I'm not going to have to go into overdraft. Not going to give that a shot. So we'll track that over the next couple weeks. The next 2 weeks, we will see how we go, but that is every dollar having a home. And for you who are nosy and like having a sticky beak at what other people are doing, one of my favorite Aussie sayings, by the way, is sticky beak. And that's just, like to have a look, have a peek, be nosy. But okay, that is where we are for the first 2 weeks of September. It is a little bit late, but hey, I finally sat down and I got it done. And I got it onto virtual paper, so to speak. So now it's just a matter of sticking to this plan. So let me know how you are going. Are you ready for September, or is it sneaking up on you? Because September is the last month of the third quarter. After September, there's only 3 months left to the year, which is absolutely crazy to think about. So how are you going moving into this third quarter and really heading into the final stretch? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, if you have any questions, then go ahead and put them there. I am going to be doing a Q&A video, actually a couple of Q&A videos with my cash stuffing. So if you have any questions for me about budgeting or budgeting in Australia, anything like that, you can drop those there, or you can put those on my Instagram as well. Otherwise, do please remember to choose kindness, show gratitude, always keep a positive mindset, and I will see you in the next video.